Here's how to make this really cool motion blur effect in Camtasia. Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Jewel Tolentino here from Essetinomedia, and on this channel we show you how to create profitable content. Alright, so I just edited this video for our YouTube channel, and let me show you what the motion blur effect looks like in action. He has a YouTube channel that is a side-by-side ATV YouTube channel and a do-it-yourself fix-it channel where he basically fixes broken things that are needing to be fixed in his home. So you can see that it's this effect right here where you have a shape on screen. It can be a shape, an image, or anything like that. And then as it's going out of frame and it's sliding off, that right there, motion blur. That is what we are creating. Now, if you watch my tutorials, you know I'm all about the details, right? So if you just put the motion blur effect on something, it won't look as cool or have a cool effect like this. So let me show you all that I did to create this motion blur effect. You can also do this on video. I just realized that I did this on video. So let me just bring this down onto the timeline here, and I'll just get a snippet of it. So you see you have this on the screen. What most people do is they head over to the behaviors tab and they'll add the sliding effect right here. So let's go and do that now. Now if you add that just as is, this is what it's going to look like. I'm just going to mute this right here. This is what it's going to look like. So it'll slide in, it does some weird thing, and then it slides out, right? But you can notice that it's just like there's no motion blur effect. And so what we want to do is first we want to fix this up. It's fine that it's sliding in here like that, that's good. But in the during, we're going to get rid of this fade. I'm not sure why it has a fade going on, but I'm going to go none, and then I'm going to leave it sliding out. That is fine. Now, what actually adds that motion blur effect is in the visual effects tab right here. And if we scroll down, we will see motion blur. And you'll see this kind of example thing that happens here where it's got like a blurriness to it, right? And that's the effect, that's the details here. So if you add this on, you can see that it's creating that effect, right? You could be done right there and be like, that's the motion blur effect, I'm done. But we want to add more to this, right? Because look at this one. YouTube channel that is a side-by-side ATV YouTube channel, and right, it slides in, it's got a zoom in effect, it's got some sounds, like it's much more dynamic, right? So what we're now going to do is add the sound effects. Now for this one right here, I actually just had it pop in. That's why you hear the popping noise first. YouTube channel that I just had it just pop up on the screen. That's why it's associated with the popping sound. But this one has the sliding, right? So I can do the sliding swoosh sound. So you want to find a sound effect that matches to the action that you're doing. I have a whole library saved of audio effects because I use them often. If I go to my library here, audio files, I have one that is this one right here, small, short, deep whoosh. And I got this from a website called Motion Array if you are interested in getting sound effects. They also have other things like music, footage, all that kind of stuff on Motion Array. I'll have a link to that down in the description below. But anyways, I got this and I added it to my library. And so I want to drag this down. Now, most people would just put this and line it up and then there you go. But you actually want to time it accordingly. So if I just play this, it kind of seems off, right? Like it seems like the sound didn't match correctly. So what I actually do is I'm going to start putting it just a little bit before. And you want to play around with it depending on, you know, what you have going on the screen. But if I move it to here, this seems much more accurate, right? It sounded like it went with it. It didn't seem off or anything. And depending on the volume of the sound effect, you can lower or raise it over here. So I'm going to just actually lower it a bit because I don't want it to overpower when I'm speaking, right? So I just like lower it down and we can play it again. And we can go a little bit lower. Again, it depends what's happening in your video. So I'm going to just copy this by clicking Control C, moving my cursor, clicking Control V. And again, most people, they're going to add their effect. They're going to like put it like here or put it right at the end or basically not have it matched correctly. So what you want to do is you want to look at the animation that's happening and you want to see when does it start moving. So it actually starts moving here. You can see that it's already starting to get blurry. So I want to move the sound effect to here and then match it up. So I'm going to click play. Now I could actually move it just like a little bit sooner. So you can see that it matches up really great and it really adds to the whole thing. Now another thing that I did was I did a zoom in. Now you don't have to do this, but it's like, you know, to me, I thought that adding a zoom in made it look really cool. Here's how I did it. I basically place the time head here where I want the zoom in to start. Then I go to animations. Then I go to animations again, click custom, drag it down, and then go to zoom and pan, and then zoom in where I want it to be zoomed in. So where do I want it? Something like this. Again, it really depends on what you're zooming in on. And then here's also another small detail. Most people would either extend this fully to the end or leave it where it was originally. So let me show you both and then I'll show you what I did. This is the first option of what most people do. They'll just do that. And then it'll slide out, or they'll do this and they'll extend it fully and then I'll play it again. What I chose to do, and this is my reasoning behind it, is to have the zoom in stop just before it starts to slide out. Now you can't really see it here on this recording because it was kind of like glitching out, but what I noticed was when I had the full thing zooming in going across and then the swipe transition started to happen, it was like a little bit trippy on the eyes because it was like still zooming in, but then at the same time it was moving out. And then I didn't really like the way it looked when it was doing that. So I'd rather have the zoom in stop and then the swipe happen rather than, like I just extended it there, having the zoom in and then the swipe happens and then the zoom in still happening. When you play it, you'll see what I mean. It's hard to show it on here while I'm recording. I just didn't like the way it looked. So that's my reasoning on why I did it like that. Again, it's all stylistic and what you prefer. So this is how I do the motion blur effect in Camtasia. If you liked this tutorial, let me know by hitting the thumbs up button. That would be greatly appreciated. And if you want to fast track your Camtasia learning, I highly recommend getting my Camtasia course. The link to that will be down in the description. It has all of my tutorials ad-free and you get access to it forever. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.